What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update, daily news, pretty much everything going on in our country, money, investing, the stock market. Remember, new videos come on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Yesterday, a big story came out that Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat, dun dun dun, from West Virginia, apparently had told some associates, potentially, that he may be considering leaving the Democratic Party and that he had an exit plan and that he could pull the trigger if he doesn't get his way on the Build Back Better bill. Apparently, he may have said this to an associate, and the story had leaked. And a news outlet got a hold of this and ran it, and now it's major news. And well, Senator Joe Manchin is walking back the story, saying, "Well, nope, it's baloney." He's saying, "Well, no, I didn't say that." The question is, did he or didn't he? Senator Joe Manchin, the one and mainly, maybe the only guy holding up the stimulus package at this point, or one of the only people, on Wednesday dismissed a report that he is actively thinking about dropping out of the Democratic Party as baloney and rumors. Yeah, it's baloney. And he said bluntly after he was asked about a report published in Mother Jones that he had told associates he is actively thinking about leaving the Democratic Party. He said, quote, "I have no control over rumors, guys. No control over rumors." He insisted after walking out of a lunch meeting with fellow Democrats committee chairman just off the Senate floor. Mother Jones had reported that Manchin would leave the Democratic Party if President Biden and his colleagues stuck with a plan to pass the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. The news outlet also reported that Manchin told associates he is considering a two-step plan for exiting the party. In step one, according to the report, he would send a letter to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, informing him of his plan to drop off Schumer's leadership team. After waiting for a week, in step two, he reportedly would change his voter registration from Democrat to Independent, which would still allow him to vote in the Democratic Party primary under West Virginia election law. Manchin is up for re-election in 2024 and hasn't said whether he will run for a fourth Senate term. Manchin appeared close to losing his temper on Wednesday when asked about this, according to the Mother Jones report, as he walked back to his office in the Hart Senate office building, saying, "I can't control the rumors. It's bull." Spelled B-U-L-L, capital B. Quote. That was his actual quote. He declared with his voice rising with exasperation. Manchin told Fox News in July he had never considered switching party affiliation, and he was more focused on the substance of policy debates and how they would affect his home state. If switching your party, whether you have a D by your name or an R by your name changes who you are as a person, then you're in the wrong profession. It's about who you are and not by the oath you take as office, the oath to your Constitution to protect and defend. Now, what's interesting here is Manchin told Senate Democrat colleagues at lunch that he would negotiate with Senate Budget Chairman Bernie Sanders. Notice right here that Bernie Sanders is considered an independent from Vermont, technically not a Democrat. You can see right here it says I from VT. Now, I can't think of a single time that Bernie Sanders ever voted with the Republican Party. Maybe you can go back and search the records. I mean, now that doesn't mean he's never voted against the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders is a kind of bit of a free thinker, but Bernie Sanders considers himself an independent from the Independent Party. So he does not consider himself from the Democratic Party, but 99% of the time he votes with the Democratic Party. He's in the Democratic leadership, per se. Um, so take that what you will. But Joe Manchin, well, first let's start with this. One, do you think Joe Manchin said this? Do you think that's I personally think this is a very real possibility that he mentioned this to an associate and the story kind of leaked and he's not happy about it. And it's a very real possibility that he's just kind of trying to cover his tracks. So I think it's a very real possibility that he's considering this. I mean, he's literally the only Democrat making a lot of these demands. He wants to put a work requirement on the child tax credits, which you could be for, you could be against that. There's a lot of people that say, I think that should be a thing. There's a lot of people that say, no, you shouldn't take money away from children. I get the argument on either side. You could put me on a debate team and I could argue either point. I get that. The problem with that is you're literally taking money away from children. You're taking money away from grandparents who are on Social Security. If you put a work requirement on there, because Social Security does not count as earned income. So any grandparents, millions of them that claim the children for child tax credits would no longer get them. If you put a work requirement on there and married filing jointly couples might not get it because if the mom stays home and the father works, then they're trying to figure out the details on this. But if both parents don't work, then they might not get it as well. He's also trying to put a $60,000 income threshold on that for a couple, which would mean that a couple couldn't make over $30,000 each, so less than $30,000, which is much less than the average income of a person in the U.S. right now. So let's look this up. We looked this up the other day, and a lot of people were very curious about this. It's kind of shocked a lot of people. What is the average salary in the United States? According to May 2020, the National Occupation Employment and Wages Estimate by the BLS, the average salary in the United States is $56,000. With the median wage, which is a little bit different, is $20 an hour, $20.17. Yeah. And it's estimated that the average woman in the US earns around 82 cents for every dollar that a man earns. The average wage discrepancy. Now, notice that the median wage is different than the average salary. Calculator here. So to get the average salary, we'll take $56,310, which is the average wage. We'll divide that by 52 weeks, which is about $1,082 a week. And we'll divide that by 40 hours a week if you're working 40 hours a week, which means the average hourly wage is about $27 an hour. Now, remember, not everybody works for hourly. A lot of people are salary. So keep that in mind. You know, a lot of places right now are hiring at $15 an hour minimum wage, which means that's their starting wage. You could go to Amazon right now and kind of start at $15 an hour minimum wage. Chipotle starting at $15 an hour minimum wage. Walmart is starting at $15 an hour minimum wage at a lot of places. That's the starting minimum wage. So to think that $20 an hour is the average median wage or $27 an hour, I think that's very, very possible for an average. That means 50% of people are making more and 50% of people are making less. Let me know your thoughts. And again, this is according to national data, according to the National Occupation Employment Wages and the BLS. So yeah, all this is kind of like national data here. But what's important here is that if the average person makes $56,000 and Joe Manchin wants to put a cap on the child tax credits, those monthly checks going out to 65 million children to help them put food on the table. And remember that $56,000 in a lot of places to pay for a home and electricity, car payments, food on the table, clothing, gas payments, all the stuff that goes into life, right? And a house payment, all that stuff, right? Especially if you're in a high cost of living area, it really doesn't go very far, especially if you're in a high cost of living area. Anywhere, even don't even think about New York City, San Francisco, anything along those lines, right? That's not even, you can't even afford anything along those lines. Now, if you talk about Joe Manchin wants to put a $60,000 income cap to even get those payments for two people, you have to earn less than that for two people. You're earning less than $30,000 is what Joe Manchin's putting there. So you have to earn less than $29,900 for two people. And it kind of makes you think that Joe Manchin's a little bit crazy to think that he wants to take away those payments from millions and millions and millions of children for anybody that makes over $1 over that amount. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, especially when you have those work requirements and they're trying to figure out the details of the work requirements, because if you're married filing jointly, um, a lot of people are saying that both the mom and the father, because married filing jointly would mean they both have to work. So if the mom's staying at home with children, watching the children, and the father goes to work, it wouldn't satisfy the work requirements because they would both have to work. Yeah, yeah. And remember, Joe Manchin's the only Democrat making these demands. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, because all the other Democrats are like, this isn't what there's no other Democrats making these demands. He's the only one. So this isn't really what the Democratic Party wants. Again, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm just kind of, again, I consider myself an independent. I kind of try to look at my, thoughts from a middle ground point of view. But all the other Democrats are saying, this isn't what we're saying. This is what just Joe Manchin's saying. He's over there on an island by himself, just kind of making these demands all on his own. Also, we're getting information saying that he's probably going to, or thinking about leaving the party. Now, the problem is, I've seen a lot of comments saying, yeah, he should just leave the party. But if they lose his vote, if he leaves the party, guess what? The Democrats can't control the Senate anymore. The Senate's 50-50. There's 50 Democrats in the Senate and 50 Republicans in the Senate. Now, the Democrats only control the Senate because in a 50-50 tie, the tiebreaker goes to the Vice President of the United States, which right now is a Democratic president, okay? Vice President Kamala Harris, okay? But if you lose that 50th vote, Joe Manchin, then you only have 49 Democrats. So if you lose him, then it would go to the Republicans would control the Senate. But remember that it goes down to each specific vote, because remember that Bernie Sanders is technically considered independent, but he votes Democrat. So even though you're an independent, which Bernie Sanders is as well, it goes down to each vote. So it doesn't matter if you're considered an independent. It matters when they actually go to vote. So I could say I'm a senator and I'm an independent, okay? If I actually go to vote and the vote comes down, we're voting on a stimulus package right now, and I vote Democrat, and say Joe Manchin changes himself to an independent, if he actually goes and votes Democrat, well, then the Democrats still have control of the Senate, because if he actually goes to vote on a specific bill and he still votes Democrat each and every time, then he's still basically considered a Democrat, okay? But if he changes himself to independent and half the time votes Republican and half the time votes Democrat, well, then now you have a different story, because half the time the Republicans would control the Senate and half the time the Democrats would control the Senate. Then you'd have a different ballgame, because it seems like, and if you read the comments down below, we get about 1,000 comments every video. A lot of people think he's a Republican in waiting, a Republican in disguise, a sheep in in the sky, or a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? So if he decides to change his mind and start voting Republican half the time, that could really change things. And a lot of people say, yeah, he should just change sides. But if he did that, Republicans actually might like that. And again, you guys can make your own minds in the comments. Republicans would control the Senate if he actually started voting Republicans part of the time, because then Republicans would have 51 votes. So keep that in mind. And really, all this kind of comes into play as they go to pass the next stimulus package, because they're saying they're really, really close and they're making progress with Joe Manchin. And it kind of feels like, to make this progress with Joe Manchin, they've really had to give him everything. They've had to cut the size of the package. They've had to cut out this clean energy. The child tax credits are going to be a really, really big one. Are they really going to give these income requirements that none of these other Democrats want? I really think that would be a huge, huge deal. I don't know if the other Democrats are going to go for that. You guys can let me know in the comments if you're for that or against that. I've seen it. I've seen people go both ways. I think the $30,000 income threshold would be very, very harsh. That would cut out tens of millions of Americans. It would cut out any grandma or grandpas that are on Social Security, because again, Social Security is not an earned income. So if you're a grandma and grandpa raising children or raising your children's children, that would cut you out of the child tax credits, which would be a shame for millions of grandmas and grandpas raising the children. The earned income requirement as well could cut out moms who are stay-at-home moms as well. It's a very, very, I just don't know if I honestly don't know if that one's going to fly, because I don't think that every other Democrat will vote for it. Because remember, it's not just Joe Manchin, but it's the other 49 Democrats in the Senate and 220 Democrats in the House. And I just don't see, like, AOC and the progressive Democrats. I just don't think they're going to go for it. So it's not just like give Joe Manchin everything he wants, but it's also like all the other Democrats have to agree to it too. So I can see them like negotiating with him on the lower price tag, and the other Democrats kind of grumbling about it and agreeing with it. And I could see them passing the child tax credits for a shorter amount of time. They're now talking as low as 1 year. And I could see them grumbling about that and maybe negotiating it up to 2 years or something like that, and them grumbling about it and passing it. But I think when they put the income requirement, or the job requirement on that, I think that's a different story now, because now you're talking about cutting out millions and millions of people from literally getting the checks. And I just don't see people like AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from the House, and a lot of the progressive Democrats. I think they'll probably draw, I mean, again, I'm just guessing here, but I think they're going to draw a hard line there, where you're going to literally cut out millions of people from getting those monthly checks, the child tax credits of $250 to $300 per month. I just don't think they're going to go for it. I just don't, because of Joe Manchin. I just don't think they're going to do it. We're going to find out here. But the problem is that is Joe Manchin going to bend at all? I mean, is this guy going to just literally come in and be like, nope, this is it. This no negotiation. I want what I want. I just don't want children to get money. I want them to live in poverty, and that's that. I don't care if the moms and dads are disabled. I don't care if they're on Social Security. I don't care if they can't work. I don't want them to get the money at all. Like, like he had a spat with Bernie Sanders the other day where Joe Manchin said something to the likes where he said, I don't want us to be an entitlement society. And Bernie Sanders came back and said, well, I don't think it's an entitlement society. I think we should be a caring society, just to show you the difference of opinion there. Bernie Sanders wants to take care of children and the elderly in America. And Joe Manchin's worried about, I've even seen some comments, Joe Manchin acts like the money's coming out of his pocket personally. And it's a tough one. And remember that this package is fully paid for. It's not even going to add to the debt at all. This package is fully paid for. It's not going to add a dime to the national debt, especially now that the package is more like $2 trillion instead of $3.5 trillion. They're going to have no problems paying for this package at all. So, yeah, really a lot of issues here. And a lot of people are really just unhappy with Joe Manchin. I mean, they're now talking about they're going to cut the community college out completely. I mean, we're now talking about tens of millions of, uh, I don't want to say children, but young adults that are not going to be able to go to community college for free. Even older adults that would have gone back to college, who maybe couldn't afford to go to college or wanted to go back and get a trade, go to college, get a 2-year degree, just couldn't afford it, or maybe want to go back and maybe get a degree now, and probably could solely blame Joe Manchin. And now the community college is looking to be cut. And remember, everything is still for negotiation. I mean, things can be added back in, things can be cut. I mean, they're still kind of working on this. There's also expected to be home care funding for elderly and disabled. They're expected to have $250 billion in there for home care funding for the elderly and the disabled in there. $250 billion in there for that. It'll be interesting to see how that works for home care funding and for the elderly. So it'll have to be interesting to see if there's any type of stimulus money in there as well for the elderly or anything, if you can apply for that or how that'll work, to see when they pass that, how, if there's any type of money you can get for that, or how services to pay for that or anything like that. I'll have to keep you up to date. Once they pass this package, we'll have to see type of programs like that, if you can apply and see if there's anything like that available. Remember, once they pass this package, there might be interesting different things like that. Um, who knows? We'll have to see, because remember, when they pass packages like this, we didn't even find out about the internet credit, where it was basically you can get $50 off your internet bill. We didn't even find out about that until like weeks after the package had passed. Oh, by the way, you can get $50 off your internet bill or your cell phone bill. We didn't even know about that until weeks after. I mentioned that the other day and actually had like a dozen people say, "By the way, thanks for mentioning that. I didn't know about this before. Maybe you're a new viewer to the channel. You can get this from the third stimulus check package right here on this website. It's getemergencybroadband.org. That's the website, getemergencybroadband.org. You can see right here, you can get up to $50 a month discount on your broadband internet service, which is home internet, or your cell phone bill right here from this website, getemergencybroadband.org, or $75 a month off your home internet or cell phone bill if you're on a tribal land, or a one-time discount off your, if you buy a laptop, tablet, or desktop computer. You go to this website and you literally just apply right here. This is a stimulus program from the third stimulus check package. It's literally a stimulus program from the third stimulus check package. This is a federal website. You apply right here. You can see right here. This is a USAC Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. This is a federal website, and you can get $50 off your internet bill. Federal Communications Program. And this has been going on for months since the third stimulus check program. We've already had thousands of viewers get this. And this is just one of those stimulus type programs that could be in this next stimulus package as well. They could fund this for more money even as well. And we've already had viewers get this for over 4 months. And this is just, who knows, this could be going on for a while. So make sure to apply for this if you haven't gotten it yet. Once you apply, you tell your internet provider about this, that you got it, and they apply it to your bill. They also did say the Medicare benefits for seniors, hearing, dental, vision, hearing aids, lower their Medicare eligibility age. I think lower the Medicare eligibility age is still in there. But the Medicare eligibility benefit, or the Medicare benefits, are still in there. They are still on the table. The community college looks like it's going to be cut for now. The child tax credits, they're going to lower the amount of years to potentially 1 or 2 years. Yeah, that's being cut. We have the potential job requirement that's only coming from Joe Manchin. I don't know if that's going to make the cut. Remember, all the other Democrats are not really for that, so we're going to have to see there, along with the income threshold there. That's a Joe Manchin only. There's a lot of different things going on here. Those are the monthly stimulus checks from the third stimulus check package. Those end on December 15th, those child tax credits. There's also a lot of advocacy groups adding to add or looking to add an additional fourth stimulus check in there for adults as well. They could do that for as little as 5% of the package as well. And we have a lot of groups saying, hey, you got to add an additional stimulus check in there for adults in addition to the child tax credits. And we'll have to see if they do that. They do tend to add a lot of things in here at the very last moment. And I will keep you up to date on that. President Joe Biden said that the current plan right now is to pass this package, around $2 trillion, also pass the physical infrastructure package, so pass stimulus package number 4, pass the physical infrastructure package, roads, bridges, airlines, clean drinking water, which will provide millions of jobs. So stimulus package 4, physical infrastructure package, and then come back for another stimulus package, basically whatever is left that they couldn't pass, that they couldn't agree on, they're going to come back around and pass that with the next reconciliation card here after they pass those two, bing, bing, come back and whatever was left, pass that next package and put some new stuff in that next package. So they basically confirmed there will be another stimulus package after this. They're basically just going to try to close this one out and pass what they've agreed on now, somewhere around $2 trillion, and the physical infrastructure package. And then there will be another one for what was left in this next stimulus package. So I will keep you up to date with everything. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so, and I will keep you up to date with everything. You can click here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is how there's a new raise coming out for Social Security, as well as a possible $200 per month raise coming out as well in the near future from the Democrats as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.